Ugh. I feel like hell and I have to interview college kids. Hopefully this won't take too long.
Peter Gresser did the music for this game, and I figure this is a good time to talk about him because this is my favorite tune of the whole game, the one that you will listen to in this room, this crazy electronica stuff. He did the music for Shiva, and I think he really went all out with this game. He really kind of he made it more the music more unified, and it's really cool. It's this kind of very mystical electronica soundtrack, which I wasn't expecting. I was not expecting this electrical synth stuff. And I think it kind of works because it does kind of give you that feeling of uneasiness and something's kind of not right, which I kind of dug. And Peter is a great musician. You should check out his MySpace page. I linked to it on the Wow Jedi website. You can go there because I don't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, Peter Gresser, he's really good. If you ever need music, you should check him out.
Looks like a fire alarm. No. The sign reads Sarah Kaplan and Julie Gilberg. There's nobody home. The sign says Adrian Tucker, resident assistant.
Adrian Tucker is this guy's name, and you might remember that the actor playing Adrian, his name is Thomas Tucker, and originally I named the character after Thomas. That was before I cast Thomas in the role, and then I just forgot, so that's where that came from.
Hi, I'm Rosangela Blackwell with the Village Eye.
Oh, this is about Joanne, isn't it?
You know her?
Well, I am the RA for this floor. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't know everybody. The campus police found her around 5 a.m. this morning.
Can you tell me about her?
Well, alright. But could you leave my name out of it?
That shouldn't be a problem.
Good. Joanne's parents have already asked the dean to fire me. I don't need anyone else knowing who I am. What do you want to know?
What can you tell me about Joanne? What was she like?
I never hung out with her socially, but she seemed nice enough. Nobody ever complained about her. She always had friends around her. She never had any trouble, as far as I know. Her suicide came as a total surprise.
Can you tell me anything about Joanne?
She jumped off the roof. She died instantly. It was in the middle of the night. There was no way anybody could have stopped her. Make sure you print that.
Would you have a picture of Joanne?
A picture? No. Why would I?
Just asking. So how did you get to be an RA of this floor?
What do you mean?
Well, it's a girl's floor, and you, well...
Aren't?
Yes.
Well, it's like this. Someone at the registrar thought Adrian was a girl's name, so here I am.
None of the girls have complained?
Not yet. They seem to prefer it. This sort of thing happens quite frequently. You'd be surprised.
Well, that's all for now. Thanks for helping out.
Just remember, leave my name out of it.
It's funny listening to Rose's agree not to use his name in the article because I've forgotten all about that. And if you play Blackwell Convergence, the next game that stars Rosa, the article that Rosa wrote is on her wall, and you can read it, and it says right there in the article, Adrian Tucker said that blah, 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 blah. And I didn't even realize this at the time, but it's just kind of funny that Rosa did end up using his name, so I guess she's not the most ethical of journalists.
Looks like a fire alarm. No. Just a bunch of notices. Guitar lessons, study groups, stuff like that. I'm not stealing stuff from college kids. The sign says Sandy Chen and Sonata Munier. There's nobody home. The sign reads Amanda Fay and Karen Schreier. There's nobody home. It's a drinking fountain. Ew, there's gum stuck to the faucet. I'm not touching that. The sign says Shelley Shenoy and Sarah Elmale. There's nobody home. The sign says Kelly Hawthorne and Joanne Sherman.
Yeah?
I admit that this section I was a little worried about. You're suddenly told by a character you've never heard of to go to a location you've never been to and talk to characters that you've never heard of about the death of another character you've never heard of. So it was kind of, I was worried it was very sudden and very jarring to suddenly kind of shift gears entirely. And whenever this was beta tested, when I would give it to a new beta tester, the first thing I would always ask them when they got significantly far is, did this seem strange? Did this seem jarring? And no one seemed to mind. No one said anything. So I kind of took a step back and I said, okay, I guess it's fine. If these guys, these very strict anal beta testers, believe me, these guys are picky. If they didn't say anything, then I'd like to think it's okay.
Hi, I'm Rosangela Blackwell.
Am I supposed to know you?
No, I'm with the Village Eye.
The Village what?
The Village Eye, the newspaper.
I've never heard of it.
It's for sale in the stand just outside your dorm. You must have seen it.
Well, I haven't. What do you want?
I'd like to talk to you about your roommate, if that's all right.
Jesus Christ. I'm busy with midterms. I told the campus police everything. Do you have to bother me?
Look,
So she killed herself. Big whoop. Why is that my problem?
I only want a few minutes.
I don't care. I'm busy. I don't care about what you want, and I could care less about Joanne. Just go.
It must have been hard, living with someone you don't like.
What? You're psychoanalyzing me now? What the hell do you know about it? You're really starting to piss me off.
Sorry.
Whatever.
I just want to know a little bit about Joanne.
Fine. You want to know about Joanne? She's dead. She couldn't take the pressure, so she jumped off the roof.
Did Joanne act unusual before she died?
Nope. Same old Joanne. Studied at her desk all day and slept all night, as usual. Quiet as a little mouse.
Is there anything else you can tell me about Joanne?
No.
Do you have any thoughts on why Joanne would kill herself?
Nope. Just another kid who couldn't hack it.
Do you have a photograph of Joanne that we could use for the newspaper?
You want a what?
Just a photograph. You'll get it right back.
Yeah, right. You think I'm giving you anything? Think again.
Can you tell me anything about Adrian?
The RA? He's okay. He helps us out when we need it, keeps out of our way when we don't. It's the way it should be.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Why do you want to know?
Just background info for the paper.
I don't think so.
Suit yourself. Joanne never had trouble sleeping.
How would I know?
You lived with her.
Like I pay attention.
So Joanne was a good student.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Thanks for helping out.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Hi, it's me again.
You have more questions, I imagine?
Yeah, is that okay?
I suppose so. What do you want to know?
What can you tell me about Joanne's roommate?
Kelly? Have you met her?
Yes.
Quite a sight, huh? But don't judge her by that. She's the sharpest kid you'll ever meet. She gets straight A's on everything.
Really?
Yep, she's pre-med.
Do you know if Joanne had any trouble sleeping?
I'm afraid I wouldn't. Her roommate, Kelly, never complained, but that's not surprising.
Why is that?
Well, Kelly rarely spent the night in her room. She only comes here to study, as far as I've seen.
I prided myself on hiring actors for most every role in this game, but the guy playing Adrian here, his name is Thomas Tucker. He is the only professional voice actor and you can tell just by listening to him. You will hear no breath pops. You will hear everything is pitch perfect. He kind of sat down and did it and knew exactly how to breathe. And I actually, I probably, and if obviously I'm thinking of doing this, and by the time this is released, if I decided to, I would have already have done it. Having his voice over the raw voiceover footage, I don't know if you can call it footage, but yeah, all that, available for people to listen to, because I think for games especially, people don't know how to direct voice actors, and I'm learning. I've learned a lot through the process, but I'm still learning, and there's so much to do with breathing and breathing in the right spot. And Thomas was really good about that. Whenever he would say a line, he would just go and hold in the breath and then say the line, and then he would breathe. Like, he would just be so aware of his breathing, because it sounds really ugly when you don't breathe correctly. And I know that I wasn't always successful in getting the actors to breathe correctly throughout the course of this game. So Thomas was awesome, and you could tell it's a shame he got one of the smallest roles in the game. If had I known he was such a pro, I would have given him a larger role. I wouldn't have given him Joey because Abe's Joey, but I would have given him somebody else. But definitely, watch out for Thomas in future games, because he's definitely going to stick around. Because when you find a good thing, you don't get rid of it. So yeah.
Was Joanne a good student?
I don't think she had any problems, but of course, the pressure can get to anybody.
Do you know where Kelly was sleeping?
No, it's not my place to ask.
Well, that's all for now. Thanks for helping out.
Just remember, leave my name out of it.
Yeah?
So, you've been sleeping somewhere else lately?
Yeah, I've been at my boyfriend's. You've been following me or something?
No, just confirming the information.
Looks like Adrian's been talking.
Thanks for helping out.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
I wonder where Kelly goes to sleep at night. Kelly told me that Joanne slept soundly all night. Kelly told me that Joanne studied all day and nothing else. Adrian lives a few doors down from Joanne in the NYU dorm. He's the resident assistant for the floor. If anyone has a photograph of Joanne, it would be Kelly. If only I could convince her to give it to me. Could Kelly have had something to do with Joanne killing herself? Joanne and Kelly were roommates at NYU. That's all I really know about them. Adrian lives a few doors down from Joanne in the NYU dorm. He's the resident assistant for the floor. Could Adrian have had something to do with Joanne killing herself? Maybe Adrian has a photo of Joanne I could use. Maybe there's a connection, but I can't see it. No, I don't see any connection. Adrian... Maybe there's a connection. No, I don't see any connection. Wait a minute. Something isn't right. If Kelly's been spending her night somewhere else, how can she know if her roommate was sleeping well or not? I think Kelly was lying to me.
This notebook thing has become a Blackwell staple since it was introduced here. It has its drawbacks, unfortunately. The major problem with it, and it's taken me a while, and I still haven't quite worked out the kinks 4 games later. The biggest problem with it is that it's not a very intuitive way to go through a game. You make a connection in your head. And you just naturally assume that the character on screen has made that same connection. But no, you have to go into that notebook interface, connect the clues there in order for the character you're playing to make the same connection. And inevitably, with every single Blackwell game that has this interface, the places where people get stuck are the places where you have to combine clues. Without fail, that's where people inevitably get stuck. If they get stuck, it's there. And it's funny, so when I got to Blackwell Convergence, the third game in the series, I decided to remove the clues interface completely, and there was a bit of a backlash. People really missed being able to combine clues. It was really surprising because I just thought the system was so broken, but people really missed it. So for Blackwell Deception, the fourth game in the series, I brought it back, and I kind of fine-tuned it a bit, so it was a little bit more intuitive to use. It still has some problems, but I do like the system because it's it's really appropriate for a mystery game. Rather than having to use inventory on stuff, you're using clues and information. So for a mystery-type game, it works really well. It's not terribly intuitive, even after 4 games of using it, but I still think it works really well in terms of solving a mystery.
Did Kelly really lie to me? I probably should ask her about it. Maybe there's a connection. Maybe there's a connection. Hi, it's me again.
You have more questions, I imagine?
Yeah, is that okay?
I suppose so. What do you want to know?
Do you think Kelly would lie to me?
I've got no idea. Why don't you ask her?
Well, that's all for now. Thanks for helping out.
Just remember, leave my name out of it.
Yeah?
Your RA told me that you haven't been sleeping in your dorm.
Yeah, so?
You told me that Joanne slept in her room every night.
So?
How would you know Joanne slept here if you've been sleeping somewhere else?
Huh? Oh, well, I just assumed.
Did you lie to me?
I didn't lie. No, screw it. You want to talk? Fine. What do you want to know?
So what was Joanne really like?
To be honest, there's nothing to say. She was studying political science, which is kind of cool, I guess. She was so vanilla.
Vanilla?
You know, sweet, but not much there. Just a typical college kid. Acted just like everybody else. She seemed proud of it.
Did Joanne act unusual before she died?
Well, no. Although the last few weeks she's been talking in her sleep.
What did she say?
No idea. Couldn't understand her. She swore up and down that she wasn't doing it. She looked a bit scared, though.
Scared? How so?
Just scared. I didn't need the drama, so I've been sleeping at my boyfriend's place.
So you weren't here when she...
Killed herself? No, I wasn't here. Not that it would have made much of a difference. Are we done?
I could really use a photo of Joanne, if you have one.
Alright, just a sec. This was hers. It was on her desk. She won't be needing it anymore. Joanne's the girl on the left.
You might have heard me earlier say that I don't like accents. Or rather, I prefer not to work with them. But the girl playing Kelly here, her name is Chen Young-shu. She's a really versatile actress. I originally had her in mind for the role of Allie, which is the sad, lonely ghost that you'll see later on. And I hope you've played through the game already, because that's not the only thing I'm going to be giving away. But I said to Chen, I said, hey, you're perfect for Allie. I know you can do that, but it's such a small role, and I just felt like I was wasting her. And I said, hey, how do you feel about doing 2 characters? And I gave her the script for Allie, and she read it. And kind of as a joke, at one point, she read it in this tough Brooklyn's Queens accent. And I said, hey, that's awesome. Let's do it that way. Because I figured with the accent, it would really differentiate between the 2 roles. And admittedly, my experience with accents has not been great. As I said earlier, people tend to focus more on getting the accent right than into acting. And I had the same problem here. And this is no fault of Chen's. She originally did not really want to do the accent. She was really trying to go for this kind of goth girl thing, but I'm like, no, do the accent. I kind of really insisted on it because I wanted the two characters to sound different, and so I insisted to do the accent, but don't put too much effort into it. Just kind of make it there. Like, don't worry about being authentic. It's just kind of let it come, but speak naturally. And I think it did a good job. And I put the two voices together just as a test, and they sound pretty different. And the characters are so different that I don't think the beta testers didn't seem to mind. No one seemed to mind. So I think it worked. So yeah, if anyone needs a lady voice actress, get in touch with me. I'll get you in touch with Chen because she's awesome.
Thanks.
It's funny listening to that character Kelly now because back then in the dark ages of 2006, I was very new to everything. I was new to VO recording, and I didn't even think about breath pops. And breath pops meaning stuff like this, when you talk too close to the mic and your breath ruins stuff you say. I never thought about that. I never thought about trying to avoid them or even minimizing them or editing them out in post-production. I didn't do any of that. And so I just left them all in. And I just now, after 5 years and like 8 or 9 games of doing VO, I've become a lot more skilled in listening for breath pops during recording and removing them in post. But now, listening to all this, I think Kelly is a particularly bad offender. And later, I think the Deacon also breathes a lot into the mic. If only actors didn't need to breathe, things would be so much easier.
Thanks for helping out.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
According to Kelly, this girl on the left is Joanne. I assume that this is a friend of Joanne, but I have no idea who she is. I assume that this is a friend of Joanne, but I have no idea who she is. I don't want to ruin the picture. This is getting worse. At least I have enough for the story now. I'd better get home.
If you play the original version of this game, you might have noticed one small change is that the fonts look a little different. And it was a quirk of the old version of the engine. The game was, it's 320 by 240 resolution, which might seem small, and it is, but the engine can, double, triple the graphics up to fit your monitor. But back then, there was this trick where you could trick the engine into displaying high-resolution fonts even in a low-resolution game. So I was able to have nice-looking fonts for most of the dialogue and everything in the game. Unfortunately, that loophole, that trick, no longer works in the current version of Adventure Game Studio. So I had to go with each of the 3 games, which all used high-res fonts. I had to go and find low-resolution fonts for everything, and which kind of seemed weird. For an upgrade, I had to downgrade all the fonts, and it's a little disappointing because they're not as nice and crisp and clear as they used to be, but there was no way around it. There was absolutely no way to display high-res fonts in a low-res game in the newest version of AGS, so sorry about that. There's nothing that could be done.
This is getting bad. That door leads to my apartment. Oh my God. This really hurts. Sleep, that's all I need. I'll just type up this story and get to bed. Shouldn't take that long. That leads to my bedroom. It's an oversized closet, but it suits me fine. My computer. It's a bit old, but it lets me access the internet and do my writing. No, I can't find any information about Joanne. No mention of Joanne's suicide yet. If it just happened this morning, I doubt that anyone would have published it yet. Nope, no information about Adrian. No information about Kelly. I am just feeling so uninspired today. Maybe tomorrow I'll feel up to it. But today, it's just not happening. Right. No more interruptions. Done. Article's finished, picture is scanned, and I am done for the day. No. What's... What is happening? It's gone. The pain, it's gone. That was strange. It was like... What is that? The photo. Something is different about it. I almost don't want to look, but... No. I did not just see that. I am not going crazy. No, it's just the stress, that's all. Auntie's death, work, life. I just need a rest. That's all.
Hello, bright eyes. Why do they always do that?
Joey can certainly make an entrance. Of course, the man behind the ghost, his name is Abe Goldfarb. You might remember him from Shiva. He did the voice of Rabbi Stone in the Shiva. And Joey is, of course, a much different character than Rabbi Stone. It actually took Abe a little while to kind of get the hold of Joey, get the hang of it. He tended to drift into Rabbi mode occasionally. And actually, when he finally nailed the character, he wanted to start over and do it all again, because that's how professional Abe is. He really wanted it to be good. I always count myself very lucky that one of my closest friends is also one of the best actors I know. There's actually this kind of running joke in terms of voice acting in games where they always say how the developers hired their friends and relatives to do the voices. And that's exactly what I did. But fortunately, my friend can actually act. So working with Abe is always a blast, because he's just a lot of fun. He's very funny. You listen to the bloopers at the end, and you'll see. But he also has very good instincts when it comes to reading. He requires very little direction, and sometimes he would make very good suggestions. And most of them, I would say, 75 to 90% of his suggestions I would actually take. So Abe always makes every project shine.
So, Griff, long time no see. How's tricks? Right, thought as much. Blackwell dames. Always sleeping. You're always sleeping, and I'm always watching. Yep, that's me. The eternal chump. It's about time. Hey, nap time Nelly. Wake up!
What?
Shall we try this again?
No.
Now that's not very polite.
Go away.
I'm afraid I can't do that, darling. Believe me, I've tried.
No, you don't exist.
Oh, yes, I do. Look at me.
This is not happening. This is not happening.
Oh, brother.
I am not going insane. There is nothing there.
Could you?
No. I am not my aunt. I am not my grandmother. I am not going to end up like that.
Listen.
Get out of my head. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Could you?
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
No, you shut up. You're gonna listen. And you're gonna listen good. I've been watching you all day, sweetheart. You know who I am.
No.
Yes. I'm not going away, so there'd be no point in beating around the bush. Now say my name.
No.
Damn you, you know my name, now say it.
You're
Yes?
Joey?
Good girl. You got it in one. Now turn around and look at me. Don't worry. I won't bite. Couldn't even if I wanted to. Hi there.
Who are you, and what the hell do you want with me?
Huh, you don't waste any time. You're a Blackwell, all right.
So who are you?
I'm Joey Malone, and I'm the family spirit guide.
What?
Think of me as the Blackwell legacy, darling. I'm passed down from one generation to the next, like a family heirloom. First your grandmother got stuck with me, then your aunt, and now you.
Where did you come from?
That's a long, long story, dollface, and we've got more important things to do.
Why have you been haunting my family?
Haunting? Is that what I'm doing? That's a real ugly word.
Answer me, why are you here?
You got me, sweetheart. I've been wondering why me and why your family since this whole gig started. Must be some kind of gift your family has.
A gift?
You're a medium. A medium with a direct connection with the spirit world. And I, my dear, have the unique pleasure of being that connection.
I don't understand any of this.
Oh, you will, babe, you will. Took your aunt a while, but she got the hang of it. Your grandmother never really caught on. That's probably why...
Why what?
Why she didn't last long. But that's something we can talk about later. You felt something today, didn't you?
Felt something?
Yeah, you felt sick to your stomach, I saw you.
I've been feeling sick all day.
And where did it start?
You mean the dog run?
Yeah, that's where we've got to go.
What, right now?
Yep, the sooner the better.
But it's the middle of the night.
So you've just had a nice nap. You should be ready for action.
I'm not going out to Washington Square Park in the middle of the night.
Well, that's where you're wrong. If there's any reason behind this medium business, it's to take care of problems like your dog park. And we have to take care of them soon.
Fine, we'll do it in the morning.
No can do. We gotta go now.
What's the hurry?
Let me put it another way. Do you want to end up like your aunt and grandmother?
Was that because of you? Did you do that?
Not me, kid, not me. I didn't make him that way, and I don't know what did. But do you really want to sit around here and find out?
Maybe I am going crazy. Maybe I'd prefer going crazy.
Sorry, sugar, you're totally sane. Deal with it.
Fine, let's go.
That's the spirit. After you.
That was strange. Everybody just ignored you. Am I the only one who can see you?
Yep, and hear me. So keep your voice low. Oh, yeah. This is the spot. Can you see it?
I don't see anything. Can we go?
Come on, this way.
Hey, wait!
Don't worry, I can't travel far from you. Goes against the rules, whatever they are. Now look inside there, and look close.
What am I supposed to see?
Just wait. It'll come.
Wait, I see something. Who is that?
That's what we're here to find out. I'll talk to the spook. You can stay here.
Okay.
If you're interested in the conception of ideas, the idea to use the dog park as a haunted place was when, again, I was looking after my friend's dog, and it was late at night, and the dog needed a walk, so I put the leash on the dog, walked out to Washington Square Park, and went to the dog park. Went in there, opened the gate, let him in, and I looked around, and it was very creepy there at night. It's just looking around, it was empty, it was dark, and it was just, I don't know, it was creepy. And it just seemed like a good place to set a ghost story. So that's where that came from.
Now watch and learn. Why so down, beautiful? Ah, I'm a bit out of practice. How should I handle this? Hey, don't be like that. If there's one thing I hate, it's seeing a pretty girl cry. Hey, I'm talking to you.
They all run. It's so hard to hold on. It's me. It's me. They won't stop.
Relax. Slow down and tell me everything. I'm here to help.
Help. Help. He wants me to help him. But I want to help them. Don't they know that?
Help who?
Can't. They run away.
We won't run away.
No. No, we're sick. He poisoned us. Got into our head and poisoned us.
Whatever happened, darling, it's over. You do know that, don't you?
No. I'm poisoned. Stay away or I'll poison you. Run. Run away like all the others.
So here is Chen's second role, that of Allie, the sad, lonely ghost, and she did a really good job here. This is the sort of thing that she normally does anyway. When I got her audition reel, it was all like sad, lonely, confused girl, and I'm like, perfect for Allie. But I also saw how tough she could be, so I figured she could do Kelly as well. But here, the voice echoes, and at first I debated whether or not I should make the voice echo because Joey's voice doesn't echo, but I didn't want to make Joey echo because it would get in the way of the acting too much, and Abe has a wide range, and Joey has such a wide range of emotions that I didn't want to have the echo mask that. And Allie, it didn't matter as much because she's really just playing one emotion for the whole time, so it wouldn't really affect that too much. And plus the echo makes her scary and all mysterious and stuff, and I kind of like that. And I put it before the beta testers and asked them what they thought, and they said, yeah, definitely make Allie's voice echo. So I made her voice echo, and I think it works well.
Not a chance. I'm staying right here.
You're him. He's the only one who won't go away.
Who?
Him!
Now look, darling, sweetheart.
Leave me.
Hey.
Leave.
All right. We're going. Look, just sit tight. We'll figure this out, and we'll be back. Friggin' ghosts. Can't get a straightforward answer out of any of them.
What just happened?
What just happened is we've got an unstable spirit on our hands, haunting that dog park over there. You wondered why the mutts don't like it here? That's the reason.
There's a ghost haunting the dog park.
That's what I said.
A ghost.
Sure.
What am I doing here?
I told you.
No, I really should go to bed.
Hey, wait a sec.
Yeah, sleep. I shouldn't be here.
For the love of Pete.
Chris Fimo, the guy who did this background and the Washington Square Park backgrounds, did a game a few years ago called Enclosure, which was done with an engine called AGI, which creates these really old school, I mean even more old school than this game, old school Sierra style. I'm talking low resolution, blocky graphics, and he made a really great game using that engine just to say he could. And it came as a surprise when I first got in touch with him to learn that he could really seriously draw the hell out of a background. He kind of went the AGI route as a personal challenge just to see if he could take those old school blocky graphics and make them sing. And he really did. Enclosure is an incredible game, and when he had a much wider palette to use, you can just look at this background here. I mean, he just did some amazing stuff with it. So he it's actually quite that's the coolest thing ever, that he made that AGI game just because he could, just because he wanted to prove that he could do something with it. And I find that very, very admirable. So good going, Chris. And I'm lucky to have him on board.
What an odd dream.
Good morning, Bright Eyes.
You're still here.
Wouldn't be anywhere else. Has anybody told you that you snore?
If it bothers you so much, you can always leave.
I wish I could, dear. I told you, I couldn't leave even if I wanted to.
So this is going to be my life from now on.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're going to follow me around for the rest of my life.
That's how it works, as far as I can tell.
Great. Just great.
Hey, it ain't all a bed of roses for me either, dollface. You think I chose to be shackled to your family for the last 40 years? Your grandmother refused to accept it, and look what happened to her.
And Auntie?
She made a mistake.
What kind of mistake?
Hey, what is this, 20 questions? What's with the third degree?
She's the only family I had. I want to know about her.
We all want lots of things. Doesn't mean we get them.
Look, this isn't easy, you know. You're a ghost? Fine. I'm a medium? Fine. My whole life is turned upside down? Fine. But you could at least meet me halfway.
You've accepted it, you say?
So far, yes.
You've only seen a taste of it. Are you ready to go all the way?
What do you mean?
Ready to see what's out there. Ready to see what this is all about.
Yes.
Good. Maybe there's hope after all.
So what is it?
I don't have to tell you. It's best if I show you. Here, take a hold of this.
I can touch it?
Yeah, the only part of me you can touch. Unfortunately.
It kinda tingles.
Alright, I have to apologize. I showed this scene to some friends at at a party recently. And apparently I don't have as dirty a mind as I thought, but apparently these lines that you just heard could be taken in rather a dirty fashion. The tie could be a metaphor for something else, and it could be read that way. And I totally did not think that when I was writing this. I guess I am a lot more innocent than I thought. But if anyone out there was offended, if you have any little ones that are crying and are upset and are scarred for life, I do apologize.
What is it?
The stuff of life. Or death. I've never quite worked it out.
What now?
Now you pull.
Pull the tie?
Yeah, pull.
Okay.
I love that falling animation. I could watch it all day. Ian managed to do a falling animation, and what's special about this falling animation, I don't know if you can tell, but it's all within the same frame. Like when Rosa walks, it's in a frame, and he managed to make Rosa fall within that same frame. It's the exact same width and length as the walking frame. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if you know what I'm talking about, you'll understand. It's quite an achievement to have Rosa fall in such a narrow frame space. And Ian is an amazing animator. This guy took the indie gaming world by storm with his Apprentice series a few years ago. He just came out with a game called Super Jazzman. I haven't actually played it because it literally just came out today, but I've been busy working on this game, as you probably know. But I hear it's awesome, so check it out. He turned into Superman towards the end. He just delivered sprites and animations so fast, it was like held the guy up at gunpoint. He did amazing stuff. So good job, Ian, all around.
Oh my god. Where have you taken me?
Relax. Take your time. It's a lot to take in at once.
What is this place?
It's the doorway to infinity, darling. Out there, in the distance, the next world, the next plane of existence, the gossamer threads that separate this world from the next, whatever you want to call it. It's all out there.
How did we get here?
We're inside your head.
You mean I'm dreaming?
No, I mean we're literally inside your head. Remember those headaches you had yesterday?
Yeah?
That was your power awakening. Or to be more specific, it was this place, forcing its way into your mind.
This is another big old info dump about Joey and Rosa in the world they inhabit, the things they do, the whole tie thing, the whole void thing. That's all a big info dump. And I mentioned before how that's a bad idea. And I did it again. I did it twice in the same game. Yeah, again, another what was I thinking, an apology moment. So yeah, sorry.
There's a hole in my head.
Sort of.
I'm not sure I like this.
Well, like it or not, we're here.
So what does this place actually do?
It's sort of a transfer point, or node. It connects the mortal world with the next. You bring spirits into this place, and then send them on their merry way.
That's it.
Well, there's a bit more to it than that.
I thought as much.
You see, many ghosts aren't as lucid as myself. Most can barely tell you their own names, let alone tell you what's wrong. Near as I can figure, they have to come to terms with their departure before they can actually depart. You dig me so far?
I think so. The ghosts don't know they're dead.
Yeah, right. So, we have to help them accept it. Once they accept their death, they are much more willing to move on. That's my job, see? I talk to the spooks. They trust me more because I'm one of them. You do the legwork. See? Anyway, I know you have some questions about this place, so go ahead and ask them.
Believe it or not, I came up with this concept on a bus driving to Cardiff, Wales. I was just visiting some friends to an event called Britain's, an adventure game studio meetup. I was on a bus trying to hash out the plot ideas for the series, and I came up with this place, mainly because I knew that Rosa was going to free all these ghosts. And it was getting way too complicated. I had this idea that each one would be freed in a kind of metaphorical way, and it just got so complicated. And I just decided to keep it very simple. I wanted the logic to remain the same for each ghost. They are freed by pulling them into this, this place, which I called Node Space. I don't know how I came up with that name. It's a stupid name, but I call it Node Space. I don't call it that in the game. But I came up with Node Space is just the way to get the ghosts out and on their way. And it's simple, and the concept works, and you could do a lot of stuff with it. I'm definitely going to be expanding the whole mystique of this place later on. So right now, it's very basic, it's functional, it does the job. Later on, there's some funky things that are going to happen here, so stay tuned.
What about you? Can you go through that hole and move on?
I wish, darling, but I can't. I've tried before, but it just spits me back out. I'm stuck here, whether I like it or not.
Are you okay, Joey?
Me? I'm dandy.
You don't look all right.
It's just this place. I don't like it. Probably because I don't belong. Maybe someday, but not now.
What about that ghost in the park? The one from last night? Why didn't we bring her here?
First of all, I didn't think you were ready. And secondly, that ghost was too lost and confused. When a ghost is like that, I can't just force the tie into their hands. It won't work, don't ask me why. They have to know they're dead first. Your aunt called it, being spiritually ready.
You're wearing your tie again. How did that happen?
Not sure. Near as your aunt and me figured, the tie is just an extension of whatever power brought us here. It's not a real physical tie. No more than I am a real physical person.
But that makes no sense.
Look, just accept it, dollface. Forget logic. For you, logic went out the window the day I appeared in your bedroom. There ain't no instruction manual for this. Your aunt and me just figured it out as we went along.
I think I've learned enough.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get out of here. Welcome back.
Ugh.
Take it easy. It's a little disorientating.
I'm fine. So what now? Go back to the park and bring her to that place?
You got it.
And how do we do that?
There are 3 steps. First, we have to find out more about her. Second, we use that information to get through to her, convince her that she's dead. And 3, help her move on.
How do we find out more about her? She could be anybody.
Not necessarily. That picture you got, the one of the 3 girls? That blonde girl is either the ghost in the park or her twin sister.
You sure?
She's a dead ringer. No pun intended.
The blonde girl is dead.
Looks like it.
And this other girl, Joanne, she's dead too.
Yep.
What's going on?
That, my dear, is our bread and butter.
What else can we do to learn more about the ghost in the park?
The photo, dear, it's the biggest clue we have.
What else can we do to learn more about the ghost in the park?
The photo, dear, it's the biggest clue we have.
How do we convince ghosts that they're actually dead?
That's the tricky part. Near as I can figure, we need to remind the ghosts who they are. Their death was too traumatic or too violent or too emotional that their little spirit minds snapped. So we need to do whatever we can to bring them back to themselves.
And how do we do that?
Usually by finding something that has a personal significance to them. It could be an object, a piece of information, or even another person.
So we need to know more about the ghost in the park.
You're a writer, yeah? Think of this as the ultimate character study.
How do we help a ghost move on?
With my magic tie, dear. I give one end to the spook, the other end to you. You pull the ghost in, and you send them on their way.
You don't come in with me?
No, sorry. That's your job.
I think I've heard enough.
Yeah, let's get going.
It's a photograph of Auntie Lauren and me. And Joey, too, I guess. It's funny. With Joey there, we almost look like a real family. I don't need to talk to Joey in the photograph. I've got the real one hovering 5 feet behind me. Joey crashes yet another photograph. He doesn't look happy. Joey crashes yet another photograph. He doesn't look happy. Joey crashes yet another photograph. Joey says that this girl looks exactly like the girl in the park. According to Kelly, this girl on the left is Joanne. Apparently, that's Joey. Psst, Joey!
What is it, dear?
What was Auntie Lauren like?
What do you want to know about her for?
I just do. Can't you tell me anything?
Hey, we've got lots to do. Ask me later.
Let's talk some more about Auntie Lauren.
Like I said, kid, later. We've got stuff to do first.
What was my grandmother like?
Her? We have to talk about her?
What's wrong with her?
Nothing. Forget it. Ask me later.
Joey, you're in this photograph.
Oh, so I am. That was Jack and Maria's wedding.
My parents?
Yeah.
Why were you at the wedding?
Because your aunt insisted on going, and I go where she goes. I could have talked her out of it, but she put her foot down. Tough lady, your aunt, when she needed to be.
You don't look very happy in this picture.
That's because I wasn't. There was a spirit trapped in an alley down in Chinatown. A little girl, 5 years old. Lost and confused and needing our help. But did your aunt want to solve the case? No. Going to the wedding was important, she said. More important. Can you imagine?
I don't know. Can you tell me anything else about the wedding?
I don't know. There was music. The bride wore white. It was over 30 years ago. Just because I'm dead doesn't mean my memory is perfect.
Can you tell me anything about this picture, Joey?
Oh, yeah. I remember this. This was taken about 40 years ago. Your grandma there insisted on it.
So that's my grandmother.
Yep.
And that's my dad? And Auntie Lauren?
In the flesh.
What were you doing in this picture?
Being ignored, as usual. Real strong believer in denial, that woman.
Do you remember anything else about that day?
It was over 40 years ago, doll. Stupid hair and ugly sweaters, that's all I remember.
Can't you stay still?
Huh?
The way you float all over the room like that, you're making me dizzy.
You sound like my mother. You're just gonna have to get used to it, babe.
Can you ever leave?
Leave? What do you mean, leave?
Leave. Get out of my apartment. Go somewhere else.
What, don't you like me?
Well, it's not that. It's just, well, what about privacy?
I'll turn my back when you're in the shower, don't worry.
And what about personal space?
I'm a ghost. It's not like I take up any space.
You know what I mean.
Sorry, darling, no can do. I told you I can't travel far from my hosts. I can go maybe 30 feet before something stops me.
That must be annoying.
It's not so bad now. After 25 years watching your aunt drool, this is like staying at the Ritz.
How did you die?
Excuse me? How did I die?
Yeah.
That's a bit of a personal question, isn't it?
Is it?
Yes!
Sorry. So what can you actually do?
Do?
As a ghost? Any powers or anything like that?
What you see is what you get, dear. I can float through walls as long as I'm still near you.
But you can't touch anything.
Not really.
Not really?
Well, you remember that breeze you felt when I manifested myself last night?
Yeah.
That's the extent of my physical presence. Neat trick, huh?
Not really.
Everyone's a critic.
So what can you do again?
You want a repeat performance? All right. Evildoers beware. I'm Joey Malone, and I command the power of light breezes.
So what can you do again?
You want a repeat performance? All right. Evildoers beware.
I don't suppose you'd know anything about Joanne, would you?
Nope, no more than you. Judging by the picture, she knows that sob story in the park. But that's all.
Why would Joanne commit suicide?
Who knows? Maybe she was in a hurry.
That's not funny.
You want a different answer, ask a different ghost.
What do you think of Adrian?
Adrian? Huh. His parents must have really hated him to saddle him with that name.
Joey.
Still, to be sharing a floor with a bevy of young college ladies. Huh. Maybe he doesn't have it so bad.
What do you think of Kelly?
That kid? I suppose once you get past all that metal, and the clothes and the hair and the nasty makeup, not to mention the skin, and the nasty attitude, maybe. Nah, forget it.
You're sure that the ghost you saw is the girl in this picture?
Positive.
That's a very strong coincidence.
When it comes to your family, kid, there are no coincidences. It's like trouble goes out of its way to find you.
How reassuring.
Just calling him as I see him.
I think I've heard enough.
Yeah, let's get going.